Hello, Lunellas! We've been getting a lot of questions on how Interlunium came to be and how it got everyone together and so on. So me and my co-host, Dom, you want to say hello?
Hello.
This is the voice of Eimi Inagawa, everybody's favorite idol. We're going to be talking about the creation of Interlunium. We're going to talk about the whole process and hopefully without making this video too long and boring. First then, we'll talk about how this project actually came to be. It's a pretty simple story, actually. I enjoy character design, and I often will find myself sketching in typical lined paper, and I was just kind of like sketching, and I'm really into Idolmaster, Love Live, all kind of stuff like that. So I thought it'd be fun to draw an idol, and so I just kind of randomly started sketching one, and I was like, she's so cute. And I was like, well, if she's an idol, she has to have group members. So then I jokingly drew another like 2, 3. And I just kept going, and I realized that this was something I wanted to continue, and it was a really kind of spur of the moment thing. It was kind of surprising. I just jumped on board right away with my idea and carried it all the way through to the end, and that's how we got Interlunium. But yeah, that's how it all began, I guess, the very beginning. So going into concept art, which was really the first thing that really needed to happen, concept and art in general, before we could really start the project, because, you know, the characters have to be designed, you have to have your idols, you have to know what they're gonna look like. So what happened first is I actually sketched Rinko, and let me open up my art so I can talk about it in great detail. I worked on a headshot of what is now Rinko Hanazawa. Her name was actually not Rinko Hanazawa at first. Her first name was always Rinko, but her last name, I forget what it was now. But I had the idea for a cute girl with very messy, kind of puffy hair, and I gave her a little side braid because I didn't want her to look too plain. I had the idea of having really open, wide eyes. I wanted her to look really, really excited and just kind of like unkempt, but still cute in a way. What do you think of this initial character design?
I think it's very cute. I feel like the Rinko that we have now is relaxed but still very energetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then if we move on, it's just a picture of a full body. As you can see, I am no artist. I have no idea how anatomy works. So I just kind of drew a very small sketch style head, and then a body of what I imagined her clothes would look like. And I didn't know who was going to play Rinko at first, actually. I was under the intention that I was going to voice Rinko, but that didn't happen. So I drew her in a very comfortable sweater. I wanted her to look like she was relaxed, and I gave her leggings. As you can see, I have a little thing that says pattern in very messy handwriting. I gave her kind of frilly boots and a skirt that's longer in the back, because I think it's just a very relaxed, easy, kind of simple, thrown together look, and I thought it matched her really well for the character I had envisioned in my mind. Moving on to Juco, who was the second idol I created. I actually...
She's so sad.
She's depressed in this picture. I don't know what I was thinking. I gave her a really straight cut, as you can see, and it just does not look good at all. I wanted her to have messy bangs in the front, which, again, did not match with her unnecessarily straight haircut. Her face, in general, is still kind of similar. She has very defined lips, which I knew is something I wanted for her. But other than that, she has very sad eyes, very droopy, and she just looks really depressed. When I first showed Dom was telling me how she looked sad, and I can't help but agree looking at it now. She makes me cry. But then we move on to the next concept of Juco, which is much more accurate to the Juco we love and know today. Confident, beautiful, very sharp eyes. Her hair, surprisingly, as you can tell, was actually meant to be short, only like shoulder length. I really like long hair, and so whenever I actually drew this initial design of Juco, I still didn't know that I was going to be voicing her, but the moment I drew it, I actually fell deeply in love with her and the story I was kind of creating for her, and that's when I decided, I was like, I know I was gonna voice Rinko, but actually I'm gonna voice Junko, and that's kind of how that happened. And then after we changed her, after a long time of continuing to do concept art and such, we decided to extend the length of her hair quite a bit because I prefer long hair, and I think it fits her character a little better and helps to contrast her from the already short-haired Rinko and Conan.
Yeah.
Moving on to our beautiful Eimi Inagawa. Do you want to talk about your own character, Dom?
Oh god. I remember talking about Amy with you back in December of last year and how we wanted her to be a bitch. We'll blur this out in the audio, but
yeah.
And we wanted her to be like super duper Two-Face. We wanted her to be like the peak of cute, and I know we wanted her to be blonde. We wanted her to have really big, poofy, long pigtails and big.
Yeah, and as you can see from the concept art, that's all really visible. We gave her the puffy pigtails. I decided to give her low pigtails because I just think low pigtails are so much better than high pigtails, am I right? And I can't draw wavy hair, so initially it was meant to be very puffy. Aru can draw, obviously, a lot better than I can. So Aru made the pigtails much more wavy, which also works for her character because she's supposed to be very well maintained. And the scrunchies were always there.
They're always
how
pink
could you
scrunchies.
How could you forget Eimi Inagawa's pink scrunchies? And as you can see, I drew her again like Junko with very defined lips because I wanted her to have that kind of like cute, innocent, but, you know, slightly alluring pout. And then I also gave her very kind of droopy eyes, but not completely droopy, just a little like upheld. And I gave her blushy cheeks because how can you resist that cute girl, you know?
I think that a lot of the voice actors for the idols got to like pick birthdays and put like likes and dislikes for a lot of the girls.
They definitely did. I let a lot of the voice actors, I wanted them to feel like they had freedom in their own character. Because for me, for example, I feel like it's way more fun to voice a character that you feel like personal connection with. So I really wanted to make sure that all the voice actors had a chance to like look at them, and if they wanted to change anything about the design, they could, or like pick any certain colors, like theme color, or you know, just general things like that, like as Dom was saying, likes and dislikes, just, you know, help build up their character so it's someone they can have a more personal connection with. Moving on to everybody's favorite Korean idol, voiced by the beautiful Lily Pichu, Tanbi-han, who is from Korea. She, as you can see, has a very, very messy bun, slightly longer hair, and I just think she's adorable. There's not really much to comment about her. She looks really kind of similar. Her bangs now, of course, are definitely more 45-degree angle. But I think she looks very similar. You can definitely see, you know, where she came from in her design and how we got the beautiful girl that we know and love today.
Best girl.
And now we have the most dramatic of all transformations. You will not recognize this character by looking at her, except for the name. This is Conan down in the bottom. This is what Conan initially looked like before she went through her big transformation. And I kind of had the idea for, you know, long hair in the front. I always really like that with characters like, I don't know, like Rena Ryugu, I think kind of has a similar thing going on. And really short, kind of like spiky hair in the back. Not really spiky, but just like a tiny bit. I thought that would have been a really cute character design, and she's supposed to be really edgy, and her character wasn't built completely at first until actually the moment I heard Hikaru Station's voice. I was like, that is the voice I need for Conan. And so I, before I completely went out of my way to get Hikaru, I actually started thinking about what kind of story I wanted for Conan, and you guys don't know that yet, so I cannot share it with you. But then after I had the character a little more developed, I contacted her and she said yes, and then Araceli and Hikaru fixed her and made her look a lot better than this concept. But this is what Transformation Thursday or Tuesday, whatever it is, looks like. The next we have is our beautiful Yamato Yamato Nadeshiko, Megumi-chan, just Megumi, actually. I don't like honorifics in English media. But she is our, not even token, she's just our very Japanese style character. As you probably have seen with her character sheet, she's actually only half Japanese and the other half of her is British. She is voiced by the lovely little Jane Cakes. You can see a little bit of difference, but generally she stayed the same. Her hair used to be wavy. However, we made it completely stick straight because it fit more with her kind of like perfect, well-groomed image, I think.
I think that.
And overall, nothing else really changed about her. She looks roughly the same, I think, personally. Obviously, my art style, again, isn't good. Especially compared to Araceli and Saku, but,
that's not
true. Oh, thanks. Moving on is actually a character that we cut. Her name is Natsume. It was actually originally Minori. We changed it, and then we changed it back, but I haven't changed it back on this paper. Her name is Minori. She's no longer in the group. We cut her and replaced her for Liz's character, Chio, who I didn't draw. Liz actually created her completely by herself. So I will post some of the concept art here, but Liz took a really, really long time designing her, and so right off the bat, she was really, really perfect. I'm sure Liz went through a lot of concept mistakes and good ideas and then kind of combined them into get the lovely little hamster-loving idol we know and love today. So I love Chio a lot.
Same.
She's so perfect and wonderful. Anyway, so you might wonder, like, how did you get proper concepts? Because you can probably tell by looking at my concepts, they're not very good, because they're not. One of my friends, Saku, who you may know from our Twitter, she draws a lot of the chibi work, a lot of the kind of like random promotional stuff. She's really great. We're very good friends, so I actually contacted her and was like, hey, I have this idea. It's probably crazy. I don't know if anything will come of it, but I'm gonna try. Would you draw digital references of all these characters? And she was so gracious and did it super duper fast, and I'm super grateful. And then eventually we came across Araceli, who became our final artist, and she helped fix the characters up the rest of the way that we were going to. So for example, that's the point where Junko got her long hair and everyone just became a hell of a lot more beautiful than I could have ever hoped. And Conan then also went through her transformation at that point too, and we will put up a little bit of concept art of that as well. She just really became the girl, the cute little petal we all know and love today, I guess. So moving on, because we've been talking about concept art for a long time, to song production. This, for me, was a very involved process, but for no one else in the group was it as involved as character concepts and designs. I'd actually made a post publicly on my Twitter that was like, hey, I'm looking for composers. It's paid, but not very much. Because this whole project was funded out of my pocket because I really wanted to make sure that I had control over it and wasn't burdening anyone else. And I had a lot of friends who did help me a little bit along the way. Thank you guys so much. And Takada, actually, who is the voice of our Rinko, had sent me her friend Dibber and was like, he's really, really good at what he does. And so I contacted Dibber, and Dibber was like, yeah, you know, I'd love to write an idol song. So we started doing that, and once they sent me over their first concept, they had a few others that kind of went between, but it was what ultimately became our debut single, Intergalactic Disco. I'm really into poetry. I did a lot of it through high school, and I fell in love with the song and then came up with this crazy concept in story. And so I wrote jokingly I wrote lyrics, but they turned out to be pretty good, I think, and everyone really liked them. So I was like, oh, well, we could use this as a concept. And then right at that point was when we got our name for the song, Intergalactic Disco, and we proceeded forward. And then Dibber continued the song, finished it, moved on to the final draft, and then sent it over to me, and I completed the lyrics that I had wrote, and I helped them from concept form and then created the final. And that was the English version right after we had really kind of like completed the English lyrics and actually finished recording for the English version. I sent all the references, well, the near final English mix to all the translators that we had, Taka, Ro, and Rindo, and they translated it into both Japanese and Korean, and it was pretty fantastic. It was kind of like a dream come true to see, my lyrics in different languages instead of just doing trans lyrics. So it was really fun, and I think an amazing experience. Dom, would you like to share a bit about the difficulties and fulfillment of recording for Intergalactic Disco?
I will just say this, that chorus is so high. Like, there are these 2 notes in every chorus that's ridiculously high that killed me every time I recorded. But for the most part, the song was really, really fun to record to. And I think that the lyrics are really fun. And they kind of remind me of like a Disney princess song. They're very pure, very cute, lighthearted, and romantic. And I really, really like singing them in English and Japanese.
I'm glad. Yeah, I have to agree on that high part. I died every single time. I remember sitting in my recording closet where I am right now and just being so distraught and not knowing what to do because I was like, it's so high. But, we all hit it, and we all hit it really well.
I was planning on only doing like my like high kind of soft voice that I did in like the verses for Eimi, but then the chorus hit and I could literally only belt it.
That's okay. You sounded great.
Thank you. You did too.
Thanks. You still sounded like Eimi Inagawa, so it was very enjoyable for me. Glad. As many of you may know, if you are in our Discord, which links to that below, I love Eimi Inagawa. I am a little biased towards Juco, as I mentioned before. I really love Juco, but after that, Eimi is definitely my best girl. And I cry because I love her so much. I'm so glad that Dom was here to join me for in this group to play my beautiful child, Eimi Inagawa.
I'm just glad to be here.
I'm just glad to have you. But then everyone else recorded. That was a long process because we had to wait quite a bit of time between translations. And it was really fun though otherwise. As some of you may know, as many of you know, the Korean is actually completely separate vocalists. I really wanted to make sure that everyone was fluent in Korean in that version, and everyone did a really great job. I got such a fantastic cast. They all recorded super fast, and they were super pumped about the project, and I'm just so happy to have all of them. To address some people's questions as to why we got a different cast, it's literally just for fluent, or I wanted it to be really fluent, as I've already said. Though some of the girls in our group already can speak Korean fluently, I thought that it might be easier just to get a whole new cast. It'll give it a different feel and also help to spread our music to the Korean fandom, I had hoped. And I think it's doing a pretty decent job of that. I love the Korean cast so much. They're so fun to work with. After everyone recorded, then became the best part, Rezion, who mixed all of Intergalactic Disco, had to mix the song 3 times. And for anyone who's ever done mixing out there, that is rough, and especially when you have 7 people's vocals. So just for the English and Japanese, you have 14 separate, in a way, vocals. And granted, we got them pre-tuned, but timing is really where it gets hard. And then plus all those harmonies, which there were a lot of. It was a very time-consuming process. It was a very sad process, but Theo did a fantastic, Rezion. Yeah, seriously, round of applause for Rezion. He did such a fantastic job with the mixes, and I'm so happy that I got to work with him on this project. He made all of us sound like Disney princesses.
True.
Video production for both the commercials and the video itself, we weren't really as involved. We just kind of sent the assets over, and we're like, if you need anything, let us know. Nile did such a fantastic job and got it done super quick, and that was really all there was to that. And same with the commercials. We sent it over to Crescent, and she worked really fast and got them to us kind of like one at a time, one every day, and it was pretty fantastic. Would you like to comment on the commercials at all?
I think that they were all really cute and bubbly and really helped to show off the personalities of everyone, especially Eimi. Jesus Christ. That Doki Doki Literature Club vibe that Crescent put into the video for Eimi was really well done.
It really was. I cried. It was so good. Yeah, I felt like the commercials really helped to bring out the individuality of each of the characters and help, hopefully, you guys to get to know them a lot better while we work on refining the story so you guys can get to know them even better. For the time being, that's all we actually have to talk about in this video, unless Dom has anything else he would like to add.
Dom be best girl.
So we do have pretty exciting news coming later this month, maybe early next month, depending. So please keep an eye out on that. We are so excited to start working on our second single. We're also working on some special stuff that will hopefully be released while you guys have to wait for the second single, as that will be a very, very involved, long process, but it's going to be fantastic. We have incredible things planned for you guys, and thank you so much for all the support you've been giving us. It's really almost overwhelming. Thank you so much. We love you, Lunalas. We love you so much. So thank you again for your support, and hopefully we'll be able to do more videos like this in the future. If you guys would like a Q&A or something, just let us know, because we'd definitely be down to do that for you guys. Hopefully we can get more of the idols next time as well. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we know that you guys, are interested, and that way we can keep you better updated. In the description, you can also get links to all of our social media. So if you want to go to our private, it's not really private, but our Discord, where you can talk with the idols if they're there, which they all are, but depending on times, and just generally, talk to other like-minded people. Our Twitter also will be posting most of our updates, so if you follow that as well, then you can really be kept up to date, because everything will be posted there. So thank you guys so much, and I hope we can have your continued support.